Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Truth Disclosure 369 in the house once again. This Sunday afternoon, August the 14th, 2022. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Um, Despite the circumstances and the ridiculousness that surround us. But hopefully everyone is doing well and is in good spirits, safe, in good health. And those that are struggling or going through different things, don't matter who you are, I send love, I send peace, and I send the intention that whatever a person is going through, no matter what race, creed, color, whatever, that the truth of and empowerment, spiritual empowerment that comes from the divine creator uh, will empower a person to rise above their present circumstances. With that, I just want to get on here, speak on a few things. And of course, before I do that, I greet each and every person who may come across this video in the greeting words of peace, universal words of peace. When you say universal, that means wherever a person is at, peace is always the top of uh, the top of the totem pole, no matter where you may be at. But you know, it's so crazy with all the stuff that's going on. I just wanted to get on here and say a couple of things. We still in the middle of the craziness with this Trump and this so-called shit that the FBI doing and trying to bring all this stuff up on. And I'm gonna go ahead and make it say it because like I said, I don't give a damn about Trump or Republican Party or any of that mega shit, mega this, mega that. But wrong is wrong, and when you're doing shit just to try and get a certain just to achieve a goal that is well, it's a lot of deception involved in it, where the outlook that people see is that these folks are really trying to bring justice to whatever Trump was involved in and bringing up, but it's false. It is false, man, and it's crazy. But let me go on to this screen right here, and matter of fact, I got to get to it where I was at. Get to that screen. 1 minute. It's ridiculous what people have to go to. And before I start off, I'm gonna go to this. Matter of fact, I can't play the video because I'm on a computer in which it's kind of on a different computer. The audible portion it's not really working right, so I have to just show the video with. Once I get on the other computer, I can be able to do that. But I'm gonna share this screen because I wanted to point out something. And this is actually a video podcast. The group here is Redacted, which is husband and wife team who cover topics, and the news that they put out is a lot more credible than the shit that you get off of mainstream. And Kim Iverson is also an individual who her news coverage and her journalism is impeccable when it comes to calling out shit that needs to be called out, speaking on things that need to be spoken on, and raising those questions to individuals that these questions need to be raised to, not kind of picked over and or we ain't gonna ask this because it might. No, that's not how she works. I've always looked into some of her videos and some of her commentary dealing with some of this stuff, and it's always been resonating with me. I bring her up because she was also involved in, and I'll bring up. I'm gonna put the other joint on here. So now she used to be okay, let me share this screen. She used to over the last couple of weeks, she used to be on this journalistic podcast or site called Rising, which is a part of the Hill, which of course you know the Hill is straight up corporate media. And matter of fact, this is her actually on one of the podcasts dealing with Rising, and you also have the present people that's on one of the presidents. I remember she started like a couple of months ago, but the only reason why I watched Rising was for her commentary and for her no nonsense approach to questioning the narratives that even though she was a part of this corporate media, she still was addressing that, and I guess they got tired of it, and to a point where, you know, which is sad because she was the only reason why I looked at this shit, Rise in the Hill, because the rest of the people that they have on there are really questionable in their intent on what kind of news they want to put out. Do you want to cover shit and still use falsehoods and bullshit? Or you gonna bring some truth, some light to the subject? And including her, this black woman right here, and it's another black lady that be on here off and on. It's like two white dudes and another white girl, and off and on other comments. But out of all of them, this lady here, this woman here, Kim Iverson, was the only one who stuck on topic when it came to the hard questions. So in my book, to me, when I get to going into what happened to her while she's not on this site no more, that makes her a hero. You know, hero. This is a real life hero. This is a real life hero. She stood her ground despite what all the other bullshit going on. And you know, I know people have some type of thwarted perception of what a hero is, because we've always been told that heroes are all these folks they throw in front of our faces that may have done some dastardly shit, but yet they considered heroes, or somebody who may have done some shit that you know, you would you know, that you know you fought in wars, or you're a policeman and you're doing this, and you do stuff and you become a hero. I don't doubt that many people's intent who served or who did certain things, they did heroic stuff. But when you doing stuff according to agendas and everything, it kind of downgrades the intent behind it, especially if you following orders from those who doing bullshit. So when I look at her and what she's been doing, and this is other people who've been in the journal in the independent journalist field, who have stood out and spoken on shit and been lambasted and lost their jobs or whatever. These are all heroes. So I'm gonna go to the other joint because hold on. Want to make sure I get so let me go to this one once again. So in this particular cast, and if anybody wants to look this up, all they can go on YouTube and look for Redacted, which is a media independent media source. Let's see. So on this particular episode with the husband and wife team who are doing they interviewed her, Kim Iverson, and this is actually the interview, and this is the topic. They were afraid she'd ask tough questions of Dr. Fauci. And so, like I said, this woman has always stood in that position in journalism as a catalyst to ask the questions to these talking heads, including the people that she was actually co-hosting, co-anchoring with. who tried to lambast her and tried to say, well, no, that's not true. But the stuff she had mentioned was fact. So how can you say that's not true when it was fact? Like she made an assertion back when she was on Rising, and she talks about it on this interview in which she mentioned that all these damn vaccines that the mandates and everything, that was one of the questions that she really wanted to ask Fauci at back then, and even at present, about what about the mandates? Why are people being forced to take something when it's not it has been proven that it's not a one-stop shop. This ain't gonna stop no infections. This ain't gonna stop people from getting contracting this mystery. None of that. And one of her co-anchors actually said, well, no, it does stop the spread, when everybody has stated that shit it doesn't. So, she actually stood on those principles, man. And that's what, in my book, she's a hero. She's a shiro. She's a person who's out here trying to get the truth. And people are going around her and other people like her to these bogus ass mainstream media sources that's sitting up lying to every fucking body, pitting everybody against one another with these bogus political virtue signaling operations. That's basically what it is, how I look at it. But yeah, in this interview, she goes on about they actually interviewed Dr. Fauci on Rising like a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even look at it because she wasn't there. I didn't know this had happened with her, but they had one of the other guys and another lady that barely be on there interviewing Fauci. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't care because I knew that it wasn't going to get the focus of questioning him was not going to be on no level that it should be, and I knew she would be the one that would be doing it. So she breaks down how the Hill had in lineup that Dr. Fauci was on, and Dr. Fauci's team, those around Dr. Fauci, wanted to know who would be interviewing him. And this is the crazy shit because they know who the fuck ain't going and who just gonna sit up and kiss ass. So, and that's just as real as you can get with that. And so they wanted to know who's gonna be interviewing her. And then when they told Fauci and his crew or whatever that she was going to be a part of that, and she was already she explained she was already excited, about to do this journalistic duty by coming out here. All the last couple of years been speaking on this stuff, and Dr. Fauci's name been ringing. Now you got a chance to talk about it, and she was excited, and she was really one of the ones at first that was going to be in the interview circle, but when they found out she was going to be a part of it, Dr. Fauci's team said no, they couldn't. They didn't want her to be a part of it. So the Hill came back to her, according to her, told her, we can't have you do that. And at that point, that's when she told them, well, don't you think that's a disservice to people who trying to find out the truth and to true journalism, which that's the truth. That's reality. That's what's real. I mean, what's the reason why she couldn't be a part of that? And of course, because she asked the tough questions, like it says in the title. And a lot of those questions they don't want to ask Fauci. They damn sure don't want to ask him about why you think he was allowed to lie in front of Congress, while Congress so-called at war with Trump and doing all this other shit, and with the January 6th and all this. Why do you think that's but this just shows you the bullshit. And I love bringing this shit up because this woman here, if you ever go, she has a new service on YouTube. She has her own shit now, just the Tim Iverson show. Fuck the Hill, fuck Rising, and all them bum ass fake anchors that's kissing ass that she just left. But this woman here deserves all the respect. I got nothing but respect and love for her, and pray that she continue to get the strength and protection she needs to continue to come with the tough questions. Because if a motherfucker couldn't come out and ask this sorry ass motherfucker who's been involved in shit since 2019, going into 2020, involved in shit that a lot of people are missing, um, are being missed, loved ones not here, all this other stuff, and all centered around that same talking point that this dude Fauci has been surrounded around. Then how can you know? Fuck that. How can you respect anybody that's standing against tough questions and bringing truth? You know, I don't give a damn who you is, white, black, Muslim, Jew, Gentile, Christian, doesn't fucking matter, man. How can you not stand with someone who's literally trying to unpack the truth that motherfuckers ain't trying to be they ain't even trying to let it well, they ain't even trying to let the truth be even thought of. So yeah, you know, this bullshit. So I wanted to touch on that, man, because in this interview, she brings up a whole lot of stuff dealing with a lot of the shit that didn't make sense. And because of that, she ended up losing her spot on the hill, which she did it on her own because she didn't want to deal with the fact that how you gonna tell me I can't interview Fauci? A lot of my fucking segments have been on the pandemic, on the vaccines, on the mandates, on this and that, or on the CDC and on Fauci. And you mean to tell me at this point in time, when we got this man coming on this show with some of the questions I've been covering over the last year, I can't get on here and ask this man. So it's bullshit. So she resigned. She left that shit and told her I don't want to be a part of that. And that's you got to have guts. You have to have courage. You have to have uh, uh, the mentality of a warrior to stand on something like that. I give her utmost respect. Period. You got people in the communities and in some of these institutions just talk a good game and talk all this shit, but they're not willing to do what needs to be done to let people know, look, I stand for truth regardless what these folks talk about. So whether you don't like it because the truth is inconvenient to some sensitive ears around or whatever, man, you still can't go against that. So I give much love to her on that, and you know, hopefully, you know, people who want to look into some independent news source. This woman here is her, not only her, but also redacted with Natalie and Clayton Morris. They bring some news that is not finger picked over, and oh you can put this on, and with this stuff being on YouTube, yes, a line has to be carefully walked before YouTube will take them off, and these are all victims of that shit. Every she has had her show removed numerous times, even before she got on the hill, and even when she was on the hill, a couple of hill shows were taken off because of direct confrontation with the bullshit by her, and also redacted with Natalie and Clayton Morris, same shit, as well as others on here. Doesn't matter where they come from or what color they are, what religious preference or whatever. There are people on here bringing the news, legitimate journalistic sources, and when they talk on certain things or even make a peep about certain things, they're banned, shadow banned, and taken off of YouTube. And then all of a sudden, you know, I guess after they got, you know, they things and died down, and you find them back on, and then they let you know, yeah, we got took down because of this. So if you ever go across Kim Iverson, um, feel she has some good info out there for people. So I just want to go into that. And now I'm see. So we're still dealing with this shit with uh Donald Trump. And this is a sad story because it reminds me of and you know what? I gotta find a goddamn shit that coincide with that. Because this is how crazy and dumb shit is, but you folks think everybody is stupid and just brain dead. Let's make sure I get it on. You know, they've been lying about so much shit, and of course, everybody should know that by now. But so let's go. And you got these dumbass politicos and everything, but I just want to say, everybody remember and I'm gonna go to this. Let me share the screen. Now, while they all lambasting and patting themselves on the back about Trump and continuing to take up everybody's day with the energy of Trump and the Democratic Party and vice versa, Trump taking up the energy of what how they coming after him and all this shit, and you know, can't help but think like, damn, man, just a few years back, you know, this whole big thing about Hillary's emails and all the emails that she left unsecured, classified shit, and the stuff that happened when she was Secretary of State, and the bullshit that happened in the Benghazi issue, in which those people lost their lives, soldiers, due to information that was mishandled. And now we got this same fucking shit. You know, it's like a Trump indictment over a mishandling classified document is now a very real possibility. How can that be? When this is the same shit that Hillary Clinton and many others done some shit where they had classified shit, um, um, mishandling, you know, mishandling that type of information, sensitive material. And yet there was nothing. Matter of fact, when a motherfucker brought the shit up, they called it conspiracies, the same shit that they're doing now, you know, on the vice versa tip. But they're going actually running this shit into the ground about this shit, and it's no fucking different than what the fuck been going on with other people, man, other characters. Which is crazy because like y'all giving Trump all this goddamn airway, man, about shit, man, when he ain't doing nothing but the same shit the rest of these motherfuckers been doing. But somehow, you know, somehow his is more egregious and more dangerous than what the fuck the rest of them did. I don't get that. Fuck, it's fucking hilarious how they trying to play that shit. But yeah, this shit here, the constant back and forth over this shit. The FBI, the stupid shit with the FBI, and how all of a sudden they're a credible institution when they were also a part of this whole thing with that Clinton email shit. And you know, James Comey and all that bullshit. That was supposedly the reason why, you know, after Trump got in the presidency, with that bullshit he was doing and got rid of Comey and all that shit. Supposedly that was brought up about, yeah, he done, you know, but that never come clean on what really happened because they all fucking are garbage. Every last one of them, man. I can't say that shit enough, man. It's like they're all fucking bullshit actors, man. Just out here doing what they're doing, seeing what a stick, as they, you know, throwing shit on the wall, seeing what the fuck a stick with ignorant people. Now then, you know, with all that shit going on, you know, they are debating on what the penalties could be, but none of these other people received any penalties. So in that, I have to say, you know, so people would be pushing to penalize Trump, but not pushing to penalize these other characters have done the same fucking shit. Now I don't give a fuck how a motherfucker don't like Trump. I don't care to. I don't care for him. I don't care for the rhetoric. I don't care for the sexist and racist shit that the motherfucker have always been a part. I don't care for just the smug attitude and the narcissistic attitude that he's had. Like certain motherfuckers ain't shit and his shit don't stink and those around him and that motherfuckers are they're here for to look down on other motherfuckers. And I care nothing about none of that shit. But the shit that's going on that's wrong, regardless of how a motherfucker feel, the shit that they're doing is fucking wrong. And why are they doing it? Happy man had to ask, motherfucker had to ask that question, like, why are they genuinely going hard in on Trump with some of the same accusations many of them are guilty of, and the facts back it up. But you saw no one going through any of this, and it makes it's kind of it ain't kind of nothing. It's fucking played out now. It's like motherfuckers get sick of that shit. So hopefully, man, motherfuckers, began to move away from this mainstream media bullshit, man, because they full of shit and they all bought off. They're all just using the this political leaning as far as liberal or democratic. Everything right now is leaning toward these so-called policies, these demonized policies that are coming out of this administration and are championed and are parroted and are repeated by ignorant people who don't even want to try and understand what the fuck really going on. And it's sad. It's sad. Really sad. So I'll move on from that because this shit happened I think today. And I had spoke on some shit earlier with a couple friends of mine about some of this shit because it just always seems like it's always something just conveniently pops up. So today you had somebody crash into the U.S. Capitol, begins firing guns, and shoots himself. But it shows that it does not appear any member of Congress was targeted. But okay, maybe they wasn't targeted, but damn, why? People clocking out this much that they just running up to the Capitol just to fire a gun and then shoot themselves? Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's almost like people. So what it said, multiple sources say that overnight a man set his car on fire and drove into a barricade near the U.S. Capitol. Now, why would somebody do that? Just to do all that, shoot in the air and shoot themselves? That shit like that just don't make no fucking sense, dog. Right? It's a lot of this shit happening. It's almost like I said, man, I honestly think these folks, man, triggering people. I don't know what the fuck they may be using, whether they're using frequencies or they're using signals or whatever, from what's already around us that we don't know nothing about because they lie about so much shit. And maybe motherfuckers just being triggered by something, man. They're just literally triggering folks into doing shit like this. I don't know. But it just don't make any sense. But this happened today, which is kind of wild. Nobody was hurt but my man. But it just, that's not. I mean, damn, I know people do crazy shit, but come on, man. Why would you? I mean, damn, why the fuck would you drive, set your car on fire first of all, then do all that, go all the trouble to do that, drive through the Capitol barricade and fire and just begin firing just in the air. I remember last week there was a woman who went into an establishment and just started opening fire, shooting in the air. I think it was at the airport. They arrested her and they're like, why is so many people just clocking like that? Like, what the fuck really going on? Honestly, a lot of people may think I'm talking shit or whatever, but that's my opinion. I feel like, yeah, these folks triggering people. Like, none of that shit random. Like, motherfuckers just be as easy peasy 1 minute, and I guess when these folks however a person's spiritual makeup is may play a factor as well. But just any given time, a motherfucker could just turn into like some of these stories that these mass shootings. 1 minute, a motherfucker just one way, and then the next minute, motherfuckers all at the store buying an AR-15 and shooting up in a mall or some other shit. Like, why? Why? So had to share that because that shit just happened today, and it's just weird how that went down. Like, that don't even fucking make sense. And it was another one more thing that I saw because I don't think any of this shit. Me personally, I don't think any of this shit is random. Some things I can't say are random, but some of this stuff, especially when it's dealing with high profile shit or in high profile areas or whatever, I don't think that shit is random. I think a lot of this shit, man, these folks is, I don't know how they doing it, mind control, whatever. People that might say, "Oh, you reaching or whatever," but do your do research. I mean, this shit is real. These folks have been guilty of having mind control programs and being able to set people off. So if a motherfucker think that's just far fetched, then you ain't really reading enough. You ain't really looking into shit enough, and that's just real talk. Not only with the all of these people just randomly doing crazy shit, man. It's just, I mean, this is something that I've just been noticing. A lot of people dying. A lot of people don't want to talk about this shit. A lot of people just want to, oh man, this, that, and talk about a lot of people have been dying. Whether they had health issues or that people knew of, or the fact is a lot of people are dying. I mean, the argument is people are arguing about what they want. You still can't take the fact away that a lot of people are dying. A lot of people in the older generations are passing away. You're seeing all these people dying in these car accidents. You're seeing all these celebrity folks, that's passing away in their older ages, and you got some that's passing away, unfortunately, just like this lady, Ann Hesh, who wrecked her car inside somebody's house and was in the hospital and was messed up so bad that there was no recovery, and she ended up passing away. And it's like, damn, she was in her 50s, but you had all these other ones who were passing away in their 70s and 80s, 90s. And it's like, still, when you see your news feeds, or you run through articles, you keep finding all these people passing away, like people who do sports and people who are young people in their 30s or 20s, and like, what the fuck really going on? The first thing you see on these comments, and a lot of the comments, people don't want people to say, well, it's the jab, it's the jab. No, it's because they had a heart problem. Don't always have to be the jab, but people keep saying that shit. But goddamn, what the fuck? All that shit still don't. I done lost people personally. People that was around my age, a little bit younger, from heart conditions and shit that I never knew they had, or shit like, what the fuck? Yeah, they may have had issues like that or whatever, but you never would have seen this shit. It's like shit would have never happened if it hadn't been something else to help exacerbate it. And it's like nobody want to talk about that. But all these folks dying, it's some, I don't know if other people realize that you need to be paying attention, but I'll pay attention to that shit. It's like every day somebody's passing from health, from murder, from freak accidents or accidents, that happen, house fires and shit, by themselves or with many, people dying with other, all death. That's all you see. And it's like, this is the world that represents that. And a motherfucker got to get away from that. But this media and all this shit, that's what they like. They represent this death culture that we are immersed in. And got to get away from that. So, I had to speak on that because I don't know if other people been noticing that, but it is a thing that has been going on. And as far as the these lying ass motherfuckers and shit, and the games they're playing to keep a narrative going, which is falling apart, has fell apart. People just grasping for straws. And as stuff get worse, then people gonna start saying, oh yeah. But it shouldn't have to go that far. But I want to share this. More U.S. lawmakers visit Taiwan 12 days after Pelosi trip. Wonder why. Even after all that shit, all that threats and all that shit, they're still playing these fucking games. Um, like they're really going over there doing shit. Me personally, I think they over here just solidifying whatever business dealings they got with Taiwan, especially in the chip manufacturing. And you know, if congressional people are going over here, you know they have stakes in a lot of this shit, especially in the semiconductors. This is what they're talking about. So all this shit about Taiwan is not about their fucking democracy and not about their fucking what China is doing. And you know, at one time I didn't know the history of Taiwan. I know it now. So when a motherfucker talk shit, you know, don't know what they talking about, black, white, whoever, Democrat, Republican. Well, all I know for sure is fact is that Taiwan was once a part of China, and China's still looking at them as a part of them. No matter what other groups and other countries are trying to say about how they handle their business with their shit. So you know this is not about no fucking this, that, and we about protecting and helping. No, this is business shit. She started it off. They knew what was it about. They knew what it was about. It ain't about that shit. It's over there false flagging, acting like they really give a damn, but they trying to make sure this shit about them chips and them semiconductors, all that shit is moving. While they continue to fuck everybody over and pass these bull ass inflation bills and all this shit and think a motherfucker gonna be safe. Fuck, man, fuck out of here. You crazy if you continue to think that shit, but you know, they each their own. So you got more lawmakers over here. And let me see if they mention some of their names. Republican Rep Amuna Amanta Coleman, a delegate from American Samoa, Democratic House members John Garamendi and Alan Lowenthal from California, and Don Baird from Virginia. My bad, saying it wrong. Goddamn. So you got Republican representatives involved in that too, because like people don't understand, you know, they talking this shit about Republican, Democrat, and all this. When it come down to the money and whose investments are who is investing in shit and who's really running the show, hell, everybody's getting broke off. It don't matter what side of the aisle, as long as you keep pressing this issue like you really give a fuck, and people really have a sound choice, which is nonsense. So I don't know. Looks like more shit is being you know, coming, you know, the light is hitting more shit, and as people continue to use their third eye and not really be led by spirit, true spirit, this truth, and not by associations with groups and this, that, and the third, and who this and that. Like motherfucker can't think for themselves, or uh, you know, which is critical thinking. Critical thinking. If you can't have critical thinking, then you're not even a human being, man. To be honest, because that's God given stuff there, man. But I just want to get on here and share a little of that, because we're still there. We're still in this bullshit, man. And you know, people gotta understand, man, that this mainstream media is garbage. They're not going to speak on shit that is meant to wake people up fully. You know, everybody running around here with this false woke shit. That's not what being awakened means, man. This shit that this conception of it that they're running around. It's sad, because I know in black community, a lot of folks running around here thinking woke means this certain thing that's you know, tied in with black culture, but it's not. You still getting fucked over by your own. By your own. You sitting up here listening to these same motherfuckers talking all this shit about black history and this and that, and we about black justice, but then they around here doing shit, fucking up your whole ability to be empowered within your communities, because the laws and the bullshit that they're putting out here is not benefiting people. It's benefiting those at the top that's putting money in their pockets. So I hope people finally see this shit. So let me be quiet, because I don't want to get too much off in it. I just wanted to share a few things, and of course, the issue with Kim Iverson. And if anybody wants to get in it, you know, listen to some of her or redacted, You know, these folks, I listen to a lot of their news coverage and other people in the independent news category because, you know, like I said, you know, it resonates more. You are more, it's more objective thinking there than besides ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox, and BBC, and all this other bullshit. The crazy thing about some of the foreign news networks is though that when you go to some of these foreign news networks, like Al Jazeera, France News, different Sky News, they actually talk about shit that this news is not trying to mention. And of course, the upheaval all over the planet. So when you see that type of shit, ain't nowhere in hell you should be sitting back acting like everything hunky dory. You should be all fucking red lights and shit should be going off. But it is what it is. So with that, I'd like to greet you as I came in the universal words of peace. I hope each and every individual that may have come across this video that you have a blessed day, week. That you know, truth, disclosure, and everything that needs to come with that may come to everyone. You know, I believe that everyone needs to know the truth. I don't give a damn where they're from, what status in society, however they may feel about themselves, whatever. Everybody needs to know the truth. So with that, I greet you as I came.